you have helped a lot of agents, you're helping a lot of business owners, but I kind of want, if you would take a second and just give us like where were we, where are we now, and where are we headed?
ChatGPT has enabled us to do, like, I think everybody who is on this call probably uses ChatGPT in some respect. It's the same thing that was working 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Only now we have the power of technology, we have the power of social media.
And as an individual, without the zaps and the automations and the make and everything else, like it's almost impossible to deliver what is now considered a basic level of customer service. Let's roll. All right. I got to think about how I'm going to start this thing. You know, the coolest thing, by the way, is that the new AirPods work as hearing aids. Does anybody else know that? So like, I'm swear to God, I mean, we'll talk about technology, but I'm hearing things I haven't heard in like 20 years. So
all the snakes in your head.
just saying that's it. I'm like, well, my fridge does make a sound. Like I had no idea. I've been walking by it forever. So there we go. All right. So speaking of change, we got Larry Hales, who is the king of AI and technology and everything else. He is the prophet of my life, because when he tells me something's about to come, it always shows up. He's like, hey, here's where we're going in 3 months. And I was like, and it always happens. So the prophet, the tech genius, the wizard behind the zone, Larry, the man. So here's what I want to break down, Larry. You have helped a lot of agents, you're helping a lot of business owners, but I kind of want, if you would take a second and just give us like where were we, where are we now, and where are we headed? Like if you kind of give us a little synopsis, then I want to jump into what you're helping agents with marketing and what's actually working, because it changes every 6 seconds. So I'd love to know what's actually working right now. But I mean, I'd love you to start off just like, hey, where were we a year or two ago? Where are we now? And kind of where are we headed?
Well, you know what? Let's go back 2 years. In fact, we'll go back exactly 2 years. We'll go Halloween 2022.
Ooh.
I'm using a tool called, at the time it was called Jasper AI, which previously that was called Jarvis AI, but I guess Disney didn't like them using the name Jarvis for some reason. I don't know, but they got a cease and desist. They changed
was that
the name.
Evil genie and Aladdin? Was that what it is?
No. It's a Marvel character. He's the Marvel character. Yeah, Jarvis. Yeah. So they renamed it to Jasper. Now, what Jasper was great at is everything that I was horrible at. So I'm great at coming up conceptually and putting things together. But when it comes to like putting the marketing copy together and speaking in a certain tone or in a certain style or appealing to a certain target demographic, I was stuck. And I was literally taking classes on how to be a better copywriter. Okay. And there's a guy, Jim Edmonds. If you guys have ever heard of Jim Edmonds, he writes these books on copywriting, and I'm reading all of his books, trying to get better at copywriting. And Jarvis comes along, and I can kind of summarize what I want to do, and I put it into Jarvis, and Jarvis just makes it sound like it's like magic. And you're just like, oh my gosh, this is the most amazing thing in the whole wide world. I had one agent, I was writing her listing description. She was like, Larry, you do such a great job. I'm never going to write another listing description so long as I live.
Poet Larry into the stage.
Yeah. So then November 30th, ChatGPT launches, right? And it's a different format. In Jarvis, or in Jasper, you were writing it, giving it context. Jasper would convert it and turn it into something better. Well, ChatGPT comes along, and I think a lot of people were like, hey, this can write listing descriptions for me, but they're not giving it enough context. Right. And so when I first started learning it and got in there, I was like, this just doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm like, write me a listing description for 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 3,000 square foot home in Dallas, Texas on a large lot, and then hit the go button. It would hallucinate like all of these things.
It would start with howdy, right? It has to start with howdy.
Always, especially
Boasting
if it's in Dallas.
And natural light. Those are my favorites. Yes.
Boasting's my go-to, by the way. Don't boast.
It is.
Yep.
If someone wants to write my dating profile, I would love it to just be all the cliche terms from ChatGPT. Boasting, natural light, in an airy presence, open feel.
No, nestled is another one. Nestled.
Ooh, I could go
Wayne
for some
likes to be
nestling
nestled.
in my life, actually. I could go for a little nestling. Anyway.
Yeah. So I have this brainstorm moment where I figure out, like, you just have to give ChatGPT the context that you need to get the output that you want. And there's no information on this product anywhere. Like I'm looking for podcasts, I'm looking for YouTube videos, I'm looking on Reddit, I'm looking for all these things, and nobody really has any clue what this ChatGPT thing is. And like we're 2 weeks after launch, and there's still like a lot of people that are completely lost. I put out this YouTube video just like, hey, here's how you can use ChatGPT in real estate.
Yeah.
To help you write your listing descriptions, and like by putting in like context and things like that, and like it literally like went on fire. Before long, everybody's home was boasting, plenty of natural light and nestled in a tight little corner of a pocket neighborhood, perfect for, like, yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Like they all started kind of sounding the same, which they still do, right? So I think what ChatGPT has enabled us to do, like I think everybody who is on this call probably uses ChatGPT in some respect, right? Is make it better at the things that we are not good at. Right. And so there's a lot of real estate agents out there who are not great at marketing, but with the help of technology and ChatGPT, it makes them a better marketer.
Right. Yeah. I like to use Perplexity. I've been turned on to that. So they just got sued, but that's okay. But 250 million or something like that. But I like them because it reads the internet, right? So my buddy who is I don't want to give him away, but he is a engineer for water. He's a civil engineer for a bunch of cities and municipalities. And he gets these massive reports of like just data that is just junk. And he's like, it takes me like 6 days to go through it every quarter for our clients and see the discrepancies and say, hey, we got to go check this out. This drainage isn't working. He uploads, and I've done that, upload a PDF. It reads and says, pick out the abnormalities. Now, he'll go back and double check it. So it's not just relying on it, but it'll pick out the abnormalities so he can spend 4 hours on what's really going on instead of 4 days. And it's like Perplexity because, again, it'll search the internet too. So it'll bring me some stuff that's interesting.
And it shares the results too.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Perplexity is my default search engine now, by the way.
Yeah.
And did you know you could do that?
No.
We were friends. Where the hell are you guys? I talk to you all the time, and I got to freaking launch a podcast to learn this shit. Like, call me, send a text, freaking bird dog, perplex. I don't even know how to spell perplexity.
We've been through this.
ChatGPT how to spell perplexity to perplex. Hopefully
our friendship will be better now that your AirPods are now hearing aids, so you can hear what the fuck we say.
I mean that it is helping a lot. Yeah. What, Mom? Yeah. No, it's great. The other day I was like, Hadley, stop yelling. She's like, Dad, you can't hear. If I don't yell, you don't hear me. And I was like, solid point. Yell away. I love you.
Side note, okay. real quick. So those AirPods, dude, I went to a listing appointment the other day with one of my agents, and it was a big listing appointment. We're sitting down, we're talking to the wife. The husband's rocking a baby in another room, and he walked through with the baby. She's like, hey, I'll fill you in when they leave because, you weren't in the room with what they were saying. He goes, no, I heard everything. And she's like, what? He's like, yeah. So he left his phone. And with the AirPods, you can make your phone a wireless receiver and hear what's going on in that room. I was like, oh, whoa. Shit.
With the old AirPods, you can do the opposite. You can leave leave a bud in the room and hear in ear on your phone.
That sounds like an episode of Seinfeld. Wasn't that on an episode of Seinfeld? Yeah. Where you put a recorder in a briefcase.
I think that was To Catch a Predator, but whatever. I mean,
that was our last visit with North Korea or some shit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you did leave the phone, right? Okay, perfect. Good.
Sorry, but yeah, so
crazy.
You know what you were doing 2 years ago to the day, and how has that morphed in? Because I don't know what I was doing 2 days ago to the year. So what's that morphed into for you?
So, well, I saw the opportunity right away. I was early on the internet when I remember seeing my first website in like 1993. I was teaching at a college, and I was like, this is going to change. Everything is going to change the entire world. I had no idea to the level it would, and like the internet would be a utility like it is today, but I didn't have the opportunity. I was a young father at the time. I wasn't able to quit my job and like focus in on the internet and become a millionaire, before I was 30, unfortunately.
Damn kids every fucking time.
Yeah, I know. But so now here I am, the next wave, the next technology evolution. And I'm like, I'm quitting my job and I'm going to focus on this, and I'm going to figure out a way to turn this into something that's going to, be much more enjoyable for me instead of a regular 9 to 5. Not that, working for the title company was a bad thing. I was working in real estate with title companies and helping real estate agents with their technology. So it was kind of a natural transition for me. But I just decided I'm going to take this opportunity right here and quit my job dive straight forward into AI.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which has changed a lot in the last 2 years.
Yeah. Have you even, like, by the time I feel like you put a video out, it's probably changed up, right? I mean, like, just consistently changed.
But a lot of, here's what I found out is I might keep up with the changes and I might know about what they are. Most people don't. So I could put that video out, and like today, I showed Wayne something today on ChatGPT. By the way, I'll share this because you guys both use ChatGPT. And when I showed this to Wayne, he was like, finally, you can go in, you can search your past chats now.
You can now search instead of scroll for 18 hours trying to figure out how it titled what you were doing. Yeah. So I used to pay for a third-party app to actually that would actually do that for me. Now it does. So that's amazing. So here's what I want to get into though. So Larry, right now, what tech, I guess the great question is like, what do people need to be using right now, and what do they need to be learning for the future? So I'd love just kind of like your top, like, hey, here's some of the things, and here's one of the things that I do that I love about you so much, Larry, is that like you're making it usable. It's like I understand ChatGPT and better than most, yet you're like, hey, here's how you make your identity. Here's how you input your identity into ChatGPT in a sense. You get it to write like you, right? And you actually had like a 3-page document, like walked us through that. Like that's what I love about it, because like I could have bumped around for 4 days trying to figure it out, but like you built it in a very like, okay, just do this, then do this, do this. And that's really what I needed. And it's been very, very helpful.
And so what we're doing then is we're just giving ChatGPT the context of who you are, who your business is, who your ideal client is, those kinds of things. Because at the end of the day, it has to know all of that stuff to be able to create that kind of that ideal client avatar, because our marketing has to appeal to a certain person. Right. Yeah. And we have to tell that story. We have to get them to pay attention. We have to, put it into terms that they understand or identify problems that they have. Right. So what you can do now, and here's how it's kind of transformed just in the last like maybe 6-8 months, is you can create these what are called custom GPTs. So this is in ChatGPT. You create a custom GPT. And here's what I've done in fact, I do this for every single one of my clients. Like the first thing I do is send them like a thing and say, give me your bio, give me 10 of your best reviews right there. I'm going to go through their website, and I put it all into AI and develop kind of like their persona, their AI persona. Then I put it into a custom GPT that's built just for them. So if you will, instead of going to GPT and say, my name is Larry and I own a real estate marketing company and my voice is this, instead of doing that every single time, it's pre-programmed in there. It's already ready to go.
So is this different than your personality, or is this like you're actually creating, like on the upper left-hand corner of ChatGPT, you're actually creating a persona up there?
Nope. So this is like basically it's a I'll call it a Larryized version of ChatGPT, because you just go into ChatGPT, you click on a button, and it takes you right to your personal ChatGPT. Kind of like
so you're going to the top. You're actually creating that where it's up there. Okay.
That's a pro only account, right? That's only if you do pro, right?
So here's the thing: is I can create it in my account, create the custom GPT, which is typically what I do, and then I just share it with my client and send it off to them. They can have a free account and still be able to use that custom GPT, but they have a limited amount of data that they can use in that custom GPT.
You made mine, Larry. Like, do I need to buy that from you, or do I just need to go make mine?
No,
of course.
You know what? I'm working on a course to put that together right now. As a matter of fact,
perfect. Yeah. Just be like, here's how I'm doing it for Wayne. So just I'll be the beta for that course. There you go.
But what's great about it is you just go into your custom GPT and you say, hey, here's the specs on a home that I have upcoming this weekend, and I'm going to do an open house. Create me 10 pieces of marketing for the next 2 weeks for this house specifically, and it writes it in your authentic tone of voice.
For videos and stuff like that, I think that's where it helps too. Like for videos and blogs, and it's like how teaching it to write in your voice is amazing. Now I like my voice with a little splice of Brendan Burchard in there, by the way. Like I've tried a bunch of different authors. So Wayne with a little inspired by Brendan and maybe a couple others every once in a while. That's actually my elevated voice I'm working towards. But yeah, it's great. And here's the thing:
more Brene Brown.
I do need a little Brene Brown. But here's the thing, mother lovers, untuck yourself and spend freaking $20 and upgrade to ChatGPT Plus. Like what pisses me off is like Larry and I were talking the other day, somebody sitting in the class and be like, do I have to upgrade? I can't afford it. I'm like, your $18 Starbucks can pay for your subscription. Like, by the way, I made my own cup. If you're watching, this there you go. There, yeah, made my own. Just little spice of life. It's not great, but it's holding it together. Pay the freaking $20.
You'll get the $20 out. I guarantee you'll get the $20 out of it.
Like 15 seconds.
So I've heard of people that.
I was gonna say, if they charge $200 a month, I would probably pay it. So, and I hope they're not listening to this.
Dude, it has. I mean, again, I'm using a different form, but it has sped along so much stuff.
Yeah.
I've heard some real estate companies and teams have done that for their agents. So they create their own GBT. That way they can go in and, because like we went through a rebranding a couple of years ago. And so I have our voice, like we had a voice created for us, like, soft, but approachable, this and that. So I could probably upload all of that.
That's for you. Soft, but approachable. That was what they came up with for Brad.
That's my hands. That's my hands.
Proof you can be anybody who you want on the internet, but keep going.
I think it was smart.
It does hallucinate.
Yeah, exactly.
But I have heard people use that for their team. So like you can ask questions inside so your agents can ask questions. So my question, Larry, is can you set not standardized responses, but what could it be like, almost like what would Brad do in this situation? Like, hey, I don't have the earnest money. What could I do? And I don't want ChatGPT bringing me answers because they might get something from Canada that's not relative to what we do here. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, even one better, if you have podcasts or videos or transcripts of meetings that you've had or trainings that you've done, you put all of that training data into your custom GPT and train it and say, hey, here's my style. Here's what I typically say. Here's how and you train it with all of that. You go into that custom GPT and it's almost like your personal assistant at that point. So you could actually give that to one of your clients, like your coaching clients, and say, what would Brad say? So in fact, maybe that's what we'll name it, WWBS.
BS, yes. The last part rings very true. But like Brad, you take that like 8-hour training you did about all the buyer stuff, you upload all that, and then imagine all the data that happens, and then Steeler, somebody else can go in and go like, hey, what should we do with it? And it's all right there. I mean, amazing.
And if you don't know how to do it, you just hire somebody who does know how to do it to build it for you and then give it to you. It's that easy.
So one thing I just want to share, because while we're on this, I was at a conference recently and they had an AI guy on there. I think it was Zillow, actually. They have their AI guy. And he likes to get in the habit of, after everything he asks inside of an AI program, it says reflect on your answer. Because what they realized was a lot of the answers they were giving, some of them were not correct. And when you ask it to reflect, it went back and goes, I gave you this answer. And that place doesn't exist. We've realized that I gave you the wrong answer. So it course corrects itself. It's almost like, go back and check your spelling one more time. And it comes back and it's like, oh, I gave you the wrong thing, which I thought was really enlightening.
And ChatGPT is like a Labrador retriever. It's always going to try to please you no matter what. Like it's going to, like, you can put something in and say like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this and this and this. What do you think about that? And be like, wow, Larry, that's a fantastic idea. So sometimes you have to pre-program it and say, don't try to please me, poke some holes in this theory and tell me what I need to do to make it better. And,
act like my wife.
It'll be like, okay, that's 100%. Yes. Like act as a contrarian and tell me what I might be missing in this. That's my favorite. That's actually one of my favorite prompts right there. Act as a contrarian and tell me where I might be missing in this. And
I love it.
By the way, you can ask it to roast you too. Have you ever done that?
I think we should do it now. Hold on.
Let's do it right now.
Dude, it's
what
absolutely hilarious.
What do you do?
You just start a new chat in ChatGPT and say, based on all of my conversations with you and the data that you have on me, Wayne Salmons, roast me.
Hold on. You do you, I'll do me.
I'm doing it right now. Okay, let's start with the fact that you're helping people get where they want to go faster with fewer bruises. But I can't help but wonder, are you trying to become Mr. Miyagi of coaching? Wax on, wax off. Here's your epic
Mr.
life
Miyagi.
planner. Now go thrive. There you go. Here's your
man. It's not working in Perplexity.
No, there you go.
No. It has to be in ChatGPT.
Let's talk about titles. You're out there changing the names of your workshops and presentations, like you're renaming chapters of your memoir. Like, shape, share becomes grow, connect, convert. It's like you're secretly preparing for a side gig of branding consulting, while preferably confusing your VA with trying to keep up. Speaking of which, your new VA business, why is it not called the Hero's Sidekick, or maybe Wayne's World of VAs? Because let's be real, you're probably asked them to prepare their top 10 tips like 50 times by now.
That's funny as shit.
That's pretty good.
Gosh, there you go. There you go.
That's pretty good. Yeah. So like I said, it's a Labrador Retriever. So sometimes you have to tell it to not try to please me too much. Hey, make this a real thing and tell me where, what am I missing? I know now we're all just like reading our roast.
It says, I have a knack for making people reach for the espresso before and after their purpose-driven prep talk. There you go.
Mine says, you've got 40 years of marketing experience under your belt, which means your first campaign probably will involve chiseling stone into tablets, right? Which is, I worked in letterpress 40 years ago, which is basically metal letters chiseled in, yeah.
There you go.
So it says, all right, buckle in. You're out here giving home buyers the art of real estate like it's a Da Vinci masterpiece. But let's face it, you've probably spent more time debating which golf course best represents the local culture than actually brushing up on the fine arts. The social media series of yours probably has more neighborhood hot takes than a small town Facebook group, because nothing screams local expert like checking in at the local diner at least twice a week.
No. Guys, I think we might start a trend here. Like, hey, all you ChatGPT users, go into ChatGPT and have it roast you, and then record a video and read the results and tell me what it says.
Absolutely. Real Estate UnTucked may just turned into real estate roast. So there we go. All right. So I'm going to turn the ship back to Larry. What's working right now for marketing and lead generation? Like, what do agents need to be doing right now?
Ironically, it's the same thing that was working 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. It's like staying in touch and staying top of mind with the people in your database, honestly, and building those relationships and cultivating those relationships. Only now we have the power of technology, and we have the power of social media to stay top of mind and stay in front of them. We can use paid ads to stay in front of them. Of course, email marketing, like all of those fun things like we've been doing for years already. But like cultivating those relationships, utilizing technology and utilizing ChatGPT in part of that too. Because now I can go into my custom GPT, I can put in my market report for my area into my custom GPT, and I can say, turn this into an email that a fifth grader would understand. Boom, go. And it's going to write it in my authentic tone of voice that's directed towards my client in a way that they're going to understand it. And now I have a piece of email marketing that I can send out to them. And then I can say, turn this into a video script. Boom, it turns it into a video script. Now I have a video script. If I want to send a video to one of my clients, a personalized video, like, hey, Wayne, just thought I'd give you some updates on what's going on in the market right now if you're interested, right? So
it really should be able to text our content and our personalization of the content.
100x, 100x, 1000x.
Okay, if I want to spend some money, what's working? What are you doing for your clients right now that is bringing in marketing?
Paid ads.
So and I know paid ads. What does that mean?
Yeah. So a lot of people are like, why should I spend money to pay for ads to go to the people in my database? Like that makes zero sense at all. It actually makes the most sense in the entire world.
Amen.
Because these are the people who already know you, love you, and trust you.
Amen.
Right? You post on your social, it goes to 10% of your audience. If you're lucky, it goes to 10% of your audience. You want it to go to 100% of your audience? Put them into your social media ad manager and put $10 on it. Like $10. It's $10. That's less than the cost of a month of ChatGPT. Put $10 on it for 2 or 3 days and blast it out there. That market update video that you just recorded is going to show up on every single one of your clients' social media, because this is where we're spending our time right here, guys. Right? So
I love that. What's the best strategies? I want to know from both of you. Like right now, I think it's the time for people to increase their databases. Like I'd love to hear from both of you. Like what's the best 1 or 2 things you would do right now to, hey, I want to add 100, 200, 500, like legit people to my world. I'd love to know from each of you a different strategy. Like what are you doing to help people do that?
I'll go first. Want me to go first? Paid ads, organic social.
Like what ad would you put out there to bring people in? Like what would you put?
Okay, well, I mean, who's your target audience? Number one, if your target audience is move-up buyers,
I'm a real estate agent in McKinney, and I just want to add the right people to my database so I can build relationships with and sell their houses.
Okay. So like the first thing I find out is like, who's your ideal client? Do you work with a lot of older clientele who are downsizing, or you work with millennials who are upsizing, that kind of thing? So identify that first, put out some marketing that solves a problem or addresses an issue that they have, and then dangle a carrot in front of them, turn them into a lead. So they grab your lead magnet. Now they're into your CRM, and then you're dripping on them, and they continue to see your ads over and over and over and over. You almost, it's digital stalking. You can't get away from it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So first and foremost, that's it. No, it's number one right there. If you want to add people to your database, you're going to have to go out and find them and get them into the top of your funnel.
And you're doing most of that in Meta through Facebook ads and things like that is where you're finding the best.
And YouTube ads too. Yeah. Like YouTube ads are crushing right now. Like I got somebody 600 views on their video yesterday for $5.
Wow.
$5. Yeah. $5 got them 600 views to their video, and their seller is ecstatic. Like, oh my gosh, in the first 8 hours, it got 600 views. You must be doing something right. And they're like, I am doing something right. I hired the right guy.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. We do Facebook ads. We do those kind of things. Because here's my theory on business. We do so much on business acquisition, but we don't actually take care of the people we have in our database, right? We already have their contact. We don't need any of that stuff. But the first step is a hard step. And we run funnels as well. We use a curator platform for our website, but it all starts with listings. A third of Americans look at a listing every single day is the last stat I heard. So you've got it. You've already got the listing. So my question is, I'm trying to find the people that are not literally on Zillow, which I like Zillow, but they're not there because they're already looking, right? They've already connected with somebody. I want some people that I can get to know and nurture over a while. So my goal right now is to get as many people in our database. And we do that by starting with a listing. And then let's say it's 123 Main Street right here in, whatever neighborhood. Then I'm like, here's 5 houses. We do it on Facebook. We do it through the ads, put a pixel on it. They click on it. The next ad they're going to get is, here are 5 houses you should see in Melrose Heights. Well, Melrose Heights is where the first house was. So now click through. And the third one is like, here's how to buy a house in Columbia, South Carolina. If they come out the bottom of that funnel, then I've got 10, 20 good quality leads to call because they've now interacted 3 times. But the problem is that's where we leave it. We're like, oh, they don't want to buy anything. You've got to keep working through this. And there's tech and there's things that you've got to nurture. And one of my favorite things to do is go to RPR, do a neighborhood or a market report. It gives you a script. I take it, I put it in ChatGPT. I tell it to rewrite it in my voice. And then I say, give me a video script. And then now it's me saying all these stats that I have no clue about. I use a teleprompter. I'm walking through it. I act like I know what I'm talking about. And it's very specific and very engaging because now my database, I've got them tagged for Melrose Heights. So now these people that I've never met are getting market updates because whether they buy today or in 7 years, I've got them nurtured and funneling in my stuff. So that's what we're all about right now is the organic.
Powerful. But I think before long, you're going to be able to put that script into something and it's going to create a Brad AI avatar. And it's actually going to say it for you. It's going to have, your facial recognition, like all of that stuff in there all ready to go.
Yeah. It's going to have
So,
Yeah,
I mean, that
good.
technology is already here. You can already do that now, but it's pretty soon it's going to be way more automated where I'm just going to say, take this script right here, create it, turn it into a video and send it to these 10 clients right here. And it's just going to do it for you.
And then, if you need to go get additional data, use, some of the things like Brad and I have leaned into that help go collect that stuff. You know what I mean? Because there's so many different services right now and things like that can help put that stuff together and like get to know your community. Like some of us needs some of the stuff, the mailer I got this month that I kept from an agent was like, here's where the haunted houses are in the area. You know what I mean? Like we got to get away from just the right now sometimes and do some of the other stuff, and all of that makes a lot of sense. And like High Fellow and a lot of those can help, bring in data and everything else. So,
honestly, I think this is the best time of the year to market to your database and your sphere because there's so many things going on and people spend more time on their devices and less time outside, less time, working in the yard and whatnot. And you can utilize like AI to go in and say, hey, Perplexity, give me the top holiday events for the coming week that are coming up in McKinney, Texas. And it's going to give them to you. You take that, you turn it into an email drip and you send it out to your database.
And here's the danger, right? So let's say Brad's been male farming an area of 5,000 people for the past 10 years, right? Cool. Put a lot of work into that in a sense, right? I go to one of these companies. I get all the data for those 5,000 houses for a couple $100, and then I put them in that $5 a month, whatever it is, $20 a month, whatever it is, and I am in front of them everywhere exponentially. What took Brad 5 years to try to create as far as impact and name recognition, I can be a brand new agent and create that in a matter of weeks, right? 4 weeks later, they're seeing my ads, they're seeing my videos, they're seeing me talk about the community, they're seeing the whatever it is. They're on my mail list if I want. Like, I've got everything. I can now swoop in a couple weeks. The other day I went into ChatGPT. I was like, hey, who are the top 10 agents in McKinney, Texas, right? And it gave them. One of them was a good friend of mine, Brittany Stewart. And I said, all right, what would it take if I was a new agent? What would it take for me to take number one spot in the next 3 months? ChatGPT gave me a step-by-step plan to go knock her off number one. And it was like, you need to do this on your Google My Business. You need to do, like, it basically walked me through. It was like, you need to get X amount of reviews. Well, and I was like, I think I'm selling real estate again. I was like 8 seconds away from going to renew, get my license active. It's freaking
That's
gorgeous.
Insane. That's insane. Did you share it with her?
Brittany, I love you.
Actually, you should sell it back to her. Be like, hey, I know your blind spots.
I should. Yeah.
But even just now, I just typed in, give me 10 things to do in Columbia, South Carolina this weekend. Boom, there it is. There's some social media posts right there. Go into Canva, steal it, right? Give me 10 things to do as a real estate agent to get business during November and December. Boom, 10 things. So it's not only the marketing, right? It is also the business development. If you literally are sitting around with your thumb up your ass and you do not know what to do right now, pull it out, type in with the clean fingers what to do in ChatGPT, and it will tell you.
Right.
Now Wayne's out of a job. It's my bad, dude.
Holidays, there's so many events going on during the holidays, you guys. Like, people are always looking for things to do and take the kids. Like, where are the Christmas tree farms? What are the best Christmas tree farms in my area? And I live in Washington State, so there's a tree farm on every freaking.
And dude, for new agents, I would literally, like, some of the, I tell all of them, get in front of your people. And Brad, you're not talking this morning, get in front of your people, get in front of your people, get in front of your people. Do 4 events a year, and they don't need to be huge. The event is not about the actual event. The event is, I get invited, I get to put it on Facebook that we're doing an event, I get to send it to my database again and again. Then I get to take pictures at the event. Then I get to say, hey, I missed you at the event. The event is not about the event, but every single person should do 4 2-hour events a year and knock in. If 10 people show up, cool. Like, it's not about the actual event. And it could be like, hey, I paid $50 to sponsor music in the park. Come by and say hi. Like, It doesn't need to be you brought the circus to town every single time, even though that's what Brad does. He loves those little ponies. But apart from that, actually, he has one of the pig walking competitions at the end where you just get really freaking laser in. But apart from that, and that's what we do. So here's my question, Larry. Right now, what are the four or 5 websites or tools people should be using? So ChatGPT, Perplexity, those 2 already. Give me 5 more. What should they be using?
Google Business, for sure. Like, I think a lot of people just completely ignore Google Business, and I have
their profile page. Like the profile?
Yeah, your Google Business profile. Yeah. I mean, I have one agent team, and I just looked her up yesterday, like 60 calls to her business from Google, like, in the last 3 months. So, and a lot of those, I mean, some of them are spam. Let's be real. Some of them are spam, just trying to sell you something. But she'll get like 1 or 2 calls a week, just like, come list my house. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those where they're driving by, they see her sign, right? Or they're at the grocery store, they see her at the grocery store on the shopping carts. And so they Google search her. They're like, well, she must be super powerful because we see her ads, we see her on shopping carts, we see her billboards, we see her signs all over the place. So they Google search her and they call her right from there.
Yeah. Well, so, Google Business, huge, right? I have one of my clients, he cut about $20,000 in online clicks, spending, whatever, because he got his reviews up. So he went from 5 or 6 reviews to, I think now he has like 300 or 400 reviews, and that his phone rings. Because if you Google real estate agent and 4 pop up, one of them has 300 5-star reviews, and the other 2 have a couple here and there. Whatever's like no brainer who you're going to call. So that part is massive. Yep, I agree.
And then another tool, I just kind of latched onto this tool not too long ago. It's called Metricool. I think I showed you Metricool a couple weeks ago. Yep. Is like, you can post to every single platform like known to man at one time. So I can say like schedule this post to go out at 7 a.m. and it's going to go to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google Business, Threads, Pinterest. I mean, you name it. It just like it's an absolutely magical tool, but I use it mostly for the reporting because I can go back in and look and see like how many impressions did I get? How many clicks did I get? And it tracks your ads, tracks your Google ads, tracks your Facebook ads, I mean, like it's...
You freed up my virtual assistant. You probably freed up 10 hours of my virtual assistant trying to track what the hell's doing what, right? So Pam's on looking on Facebook. Okay, what happened on Facebook this week? Looking at Instagram. I mean, like each have the kind of individual reporting. We still got to like pull all that stuff together. Metricool is, as a business owner, CEO, it's the most beautiful dashboard because I can look on there and go, here's what's happening in Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Like, here's what's working. Here's what's not working. I can immediately see that. And all of a sudden, it saved her a gazillion amount of time that we could go do other stuff with and saved me a lot of time. And I actually feel like I know what's going on. So Metricool was huge for us.
Yep. Big. In fact, it's probably the number one tool aside from ChatGPT. It's probably my number one tool in my arsenal right now.
Yeah, so good.
Wayne's my number
and then
one tool.
CRM.
I am the number one tool in Brad's life. What did you say, CRM?
Yeah, CRM. Whatever CRM you have, like if you don't have a CRM, get a CRM.
God,
use it.
Dog it. Do we really have to have this conversation? Shit.
We do every time, every year. What was the one?
Top producer.
Top producer.
Yeah,
top
producer. I still have an account.
Bringing back 1984. You know what I love about Top Producer? It worked every time, and they didn't jink with it so much that you couldn't figure out what was going on. Like I loved it. Nowadays, it's like Follow a Boss is amazing. Go High Level is amazing. And yet, I'll say one thing: if people are listening to this, you probably need someone to help set it up. Right. Like you probably are not the one like Larry. I know you're amazing at that. Helping people set up their CRMs and everything else. I mean, there's people that's become their full-time job because it is a freaking full-time job, right? Like once you get it all set up, you can have some maintenance, but it's a lot of lift to get it dialed in. And I'm doing a class tomorrow on legends and whatever else. But like the biggest regret of most agents is not getting that stuff dialed in early enough, soon enough, and taking their database. Hire a Larry, hire somebody to help get that set up and dialed in quickly because you don't need to be doing that. It's way too much lift. It's way too much knowledge, and you need to be going finding a buyer or seller while they're setting all that up.
ChatGPT can help you with that too. Like I just had a ChatGPT write me a serious drip campaign based off of an agent for the next like 60 days for a new leads that come in off of this ad platform right here.
Yeah.
And it was simple.
So I know this is not really it's more of a connector, but Zapier has changed now I've got a higher level of intelligence, of course, but now I've got a higher level of knowledge when it comes to connecting stuff like that. So I get it more than the average realtor out there, but it has shaved hundreds of hours out of my work weeks by having these connections and setting reminders for agents to do things off a certain program. Like it has been a game changer.
You know, one of my favorite zaps, we call them zaps in the zap community, right? My favorite zap is when a new lead comes in to either your CRM or through an ad campaign, that the new lead comes in, it goes into your CRM, then it automatically uploads into your custom audiences in Facebook so that the ads that you're running to your database, they're automatically added in. You don't have to manually go in and add them. So here's where this comes in really, really handy. Let's say you go to a listing appointment, right? And you're on that listing appointment. They haven't signed the contract yet. You put them into your CRM. They're automatically added to your database. And so like literally you walk out of that meeting and within a couple hours, they're scrolling on their social media and they see your ads like immediately. They're like, whoa, that's really weird. That's really weird. We just met with her and now we're seeing her ads on social media. Wow, she must be. And you could do that ahead of time too. You could say like, hey, I've got a meeting with this person on Friday. On Monday, you put them in there. And they're seeing your ads before you even walk in the door. So, yeah. So that's my favorite zap.
I don't have that zap. I will have that zap. I don't have that zap.
I'll help you all set it up. It's actually super, super easy. Another tool I use is called make.com. I don't know if I showed you this one, Wayne. So here's make.com is kind of like Zapier.
We launched a podcast so I can figure out what the hell you guys are doing. I figured out that's the real reason we're doing this. I just got to figure out what the hell. Yeah, there we go. Okay, make.
Yeah, what are you bringing to the table, Wayne? When are you going to step up and bring?
I mean, you're not getting these piercing blue eyes anywhere.
I need to get some of those contacts. Yeah, no shit. I just need some tape to hold up this eyelid is really what I need. So.
Yeah, wait till I put my cat filter on. We'll be really off to the races.
Your Honor, I'm not a cat, I swear. So
all right, make.com.
Here's the great thing about Make is I create a custom GPT for a client, right? Into custom GPT. Then all I do is put in like listing or so maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm using Zillow. So take a listing that's on Zillow, you put it into a spreadsheet, and make.com will go grab that. It'll parse the data of the spreadsheet, pull all of the pertinent listing information from it, put it together into marketing materials for Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Google Business, all of that. And then I can actually post it to those places. So really my only interaction is I got this new listing, it's live. I go grab the Zillow link. I put the Zillow link into a spreadsheet. Make.com just takes care of the rest, and it automatically posts all this stuff to all these different platforms for me.
Jesus.
Yeah. I'll do a quick video on it so you guys can see like what it is and how it works. But I'm telling you, it's.
And here's the thing, like I believe in this day and age, you really need a couple people. You need a Larry that is like helping be the architect and helping to have everything go, like help architect a lot of this stuff, because you can't learn it on your own. It's too much to do your job and learn all this.
Oh, for sure.
And then I think you probably need a virtual assistant to help do some of the back end legwork, right? So some of the additional stuff, and then you need someone to help with content or video editing. Like you almost have to have those three people in your world right now, and that just allows you to go do more of your job, right? So you need to go out there, do what you're best at, which is go talk to people, kiss babies, do your events, and then you need the support of those people around you, because I think if you don't have that, like you're competing with the best customer service they've ever received. Right, you're competing with Amazon. That's like, hey, your package has moved down the line 5 feet. Your package is now on the plane. Your package is wrapped with a bow, and Jose has it. Right, like you're competing with the best customer service that they've ever had. And as an individual, without the zaps and the automations and the make and everything else, like it's almost impossible to deliver what is now considered a basic level of customer service.
Yeah,
and it's possible. You just got to get the stuff built out.
Well, the running joke used to be, right? Like when you got into real estate, like, oh, go get your 12-year-old kid to help you. They'll help you with the technology. Technology is not there anymore, right? I mean, we're past the iPhone stage. This is some serious stuff. But I mean, just think about, to go back to what Larry was saying, that once this gets set up for you, so people may not understand Zapier, I get it, but it's just a way to bridge programs that don't talk, right? It's just taking a program speaks English and one speaks Spanish, and now they're talking a mutual language and things are happening the way you want. So now you get a new lead, you just do your own thing, put it in your database. And now it's on a Facebook ad campaign that he's got set up for you. So it's running in the background. The only thing you had to do was the only thing you had to do. And yes, you pay money, and sure, Larry's going to charge. That's what he does for a living. But your ROI is 10 times, and you have to do zero more work other than write a check or Venmo or whatever they do now to pay people. So that is where people need to stop bitching about money and start leveraging, because going back to Larry's initial example is the business is in your database. You've already got it. If you have a database, right? If you don't have a database, no offense, you're not going to make it. I don't care who you are. You're not going to make it in a marriage. You're not going to make it at home, because you're going to be always spastic. And I know it's a big, strong statement to say, but you could be the best real estate agent, but if you don't have a database, your home life sucks, because you're always having to be on and think about what you've got to do and who you met and how it went and write on a sticky note, and your kid took it and now you're pissed off. Like, you need to be a grown up and get a fucking database, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, well, I had one agent
here to replace you. It's here to enhance you, right?
100%.
It's here to do all these 100 of freaking zaps behind the scenes so that you can go to the networking event. It's here to do all that shit, make the ads, whatever, just so you can record the video instead of having to write the whole thing too, right? It's doing all that stuff so that you can make the calls, right? Like it's here to enhance you, not replace you. And it's going to give you more time to do lead generation and everything else you need to be doing. We're not talking about getting to the beach right away, but I'll tell you what, you don't have enough time to go learn this on your own. You simply don't. Like Larry this morning was building a funnel for me, and he goes, it's easy after blah, blah. And I was like, fuck you, Larry. Like, none of this is easy, right? He's like, oh, this is the easy part. And I'm like, you lost me in the Matrix 20 minutes ago, right? Like, I'm literally just here to, eat popcorn at this point, right? But like, what's easy for Larry 3 years later, you know what I mean, is an impossible hill for me to climb in a sense. So what's the biggest risk? What's the most dangerous thing for agents in the next year or so? Like where could the most peril be coming for especially agents with teams or even individual agents?
Not adopting the new technologies that are coming down the pipe. Like you're going to be, like you just said, it's not going to replace you, but you're going to be replaced by somebody who is using this. And I kind of use the internet as an example. The last speaking gig that I had, I said, how easy would it be to be a real estate agent today without a smartphone and without the internet? It would be impossible. You couldn't do it. But when they were first coming out, there was a lot of pushback for real estate agents. They're like, oh, I'm not getting rid of my Rolodex. Right. I don't need to go get a laptop, And the agents who were like, I'm going to embrace the technology, embrace the new MLS system, embraced CRMs and stuff like that. They're the ones who eventually became successful, and the ones who didn't adopt the technology eventually either aged out or died. So.
And like you said, and I think Brad, you said this in one of our last messages, like technology is not going to replace you. It's the agent that knows how to use technology that's going to replace you.
Or has a team. Or has a team that can use the technology.
Well, that's 100%. So to answer your question, Wayne, I think I'll start with what's the thing that's going to happen that teams need to be aware of. A lot of people created teams over the last couple of years because they were selling houses and they thought that was a natural progression, is to start a team, bring people underneath them because they're going to sell more and more. Well, as everybody's selling a little bit less statistically, what are you doing to make somebody want to stay on your team? Like if you're providing them a program that they can go get on their own, not really helpful, right? So I think the biggest thing is providing value to your teammates and your agents that work for you if you're on a team. As a solo agent, dude, there's going to be so many orphaned clients over the next 3 years because their agents are getting out of the business. They don't have an agent stay in touch with them, not that they were to begin with. And somebody that Larry's working with is going to come through with a couple clicks of a button and a couple of checks, but they're going to take all of your people, even if you're still in the business, because they are now in front of them strategically and intentionally providing them value. Because we know every 7-11 years, people move. But until that happens, you got to be engaging, entertaining, and educational to keep them looking at your brand. They don't care about FSBOs.
Don't get Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Don't get Toys R Us. And when I say Toys R Us, it's like the agent that goes, I own this neighborhood. I've been working this neighborhood for 10 years. Everybody gets my postcards. Everybody loves my whatever, right? And you're going to get Toys R Us when somebody comes in with Larry in their back pocket, and in 4 weeks, you're the name that's in front of them everywhere they look, which, by the way, is 99% right here, right? Like, and you're going to come in and kick their butt and be like, everybody loves Marcia. Nobody used her anymore because she got Toys R Us, right? Like she literally thought she was going to be okay, and like it was easier to click a button here than it was to pick up a phone and call her. It was easier to get a home report in 2 seconds. It was easier and simpler to order off Amazon than it was to go to the Toys R Us. And we all love Toys R Us. We all stopped giving them our money because it was easier just to go on Amazon and buy the shit.
Well, and I agree. And I also look at it like watching old Westerns, right? Like the first thing that happens when there's a sense of danger is everybody circles the wagons, right? And why do they do that? So they can protect what they've got. And here we are in a market where nobody's protecting what they've got. They're trying to acquire more, but not protecting what they already have. So they're spending 2, 3, 4 times as much money and time to get a new person that may or may not buy when they've got somebody that already likes them. They just got to do something with them. So that's where Larry's, automations and his tech can really help a lot of these teams and people stay forefront for very little dollars, by the way.
Yeah. Larry, how do people get in touch with you?
Very little. Summitmarketing.ai. Yeah. Summitmarketing.ai. Go there. You can book an appointment with me right there. We'll do a little discovery session. I like to sit down and let's talk about your business and where you are, what you want to accomplish, like what's missing in your business, that kind of thing first, and then see if we're a good fit.
I don't endorse very many people, but I would guarantee Larry, the stuff you do and the results you get are amazing. And I do not say that lightly. It really is a real deal. Okay, I'm going to go jump on a coaching call. As we always say, you're a badass and go and fuck yourself. So happy whatever day this is.
All right. Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, guys.